I've only read 300 books and my reading goal is 500. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amina, but you can also call me Bliss, whatever you want. Today we are going to be wrapping up the year. It is going to be 2026 in like 10 days. We have 10 days left of 2025. I'm still mentally in 2021, so I don't even understand how we got here so quickly. At first I was gonna do like a reading wrap up, like every book I read in 2025, ranking them from 1 to 5 and everything like that. But then I realized I barely read any books this year. The reading slump was really bad. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna talk to you about the 2 books I read this year. And I know you're probably thinking, 2 books? You read 2 books in this entire year? Yes, I have been caught up with so many other things, and I think my doom scrolling addiction definitely played a part of that. I literally went on Goodreads because I was like preparing for this video. I was like, okay, what books did I read this year? Let me see. And I went on to Goodreads and I saw like 2 books and I was like, there's no way these are the only books I read this year. But it's true, I barely read anything. I barely read anything this year. So instead of a reading wrap up, we're going to be talking about everything we need to leave in 2026 when it comes to being a reader or a writer or just somebody who has a love for books and literature. Everything that has to be left behind. I think I've already touched upon it, the doom scrolling thing, and like how my reading time is being replaced with screen time. That's one of the personal things that I need to leave behind in 2025. The whole doom scrolling addiction thing, there are many things that it affects, not just my like lack of reading, but I'll go into that in like another video. Everything I personally think that we need to move on from, everything I think we need to drop. You can agree, you can disagree, I don't care. This is just the stuff that I'm sick of seeing on BookTok, on booktube, in the reading space in general, like just things that I think we need to let go of. I don't want it to seem like I'm sitting here being like, oh, the BookTok community is awful now. I just think there are just some bad habits and like traits that I've noticed in the space, so I want to just like give my little 2 pence into it. I just got a phone call, but I'm not answering that. No, I'm busy. Guys, should I switch my phone off? The first thing we need to leave behind in 2025 when it comes to reading is not DNFing books. I used to do this thing, right, where if I start a book, I have to finish it, even if I hate it. Does that make sense? No. I did the same thing with TV shows as well. I just didn't like not finishing books because I felt like I cannot have like a real opinion of the book if I don't finish it. I don't know why I decided to like put that pressure on myself. I was just like, no, you have to finish this book. Like, you started it now, you have to finish it, even if it's awful. The times where I'd force myself to finish books that I didn't like are the times where I ended up in the worst reading slumps. Just DNF them. Stop reading them. It's not, reading is actually meant to be a fun little hobby. It's not meant to be like a task you put upon yourself. You started a book, it's not fun, you're bored, the characters are boring. Let's say you're getting like almost at the halfway mark and it's still not looking up. Just leave it and move on to the next one. Like, I used to literally force myself to struggle through a book just because I started it. When I got on BookTok and people were talking about DNFing books, I was like, that sounds illegal. My brain has evolved since then. I've learned to just let myself enjoy reading. You know how everybody has a reading goal, right? Maybe it's a Goodreads reading challenge. I need to read 1,000 books this year. No, I need to read 500 books this year. I used to think that's like a cute, fun little like goal to set for yourself. Like, you know, like, I want to read as many books as possible in this month. Like, it's great. But when we get to the point where we don't hit those goals, or other people are hitting their goals and you're not, and you're sitting there like, damn, I'm a bad reader, or oh my god, I should be doing better. That's where I'm like, since when is this like a competition? When did this become mandatory? I thought it was like a fun little like challenge, like a fun little thing to do. And I think some people look at it that way. But when I see people on any platform getting competitive about it or beating themselves up about it, I've only read 300 books and my reading goal is 500. Babe, I think we need to leave the whole reading goal pressure back in 2025. At this point, I'm thinking, are you reading for enjoyment purposes, or are you reading just to get the book done and tick a box on your reading goal? The second I feel like our passions are made to feel like a job is when the passions start to die. I'll do it for fun, but it's just meant to be for fun. If you're taking it super serious, I'm a bit like, stop the pop culture references in your books, okay? Stop it. Reading is a form of escapism, okay? I'm leaving this world. This world that we're currently in, I'm leaving it to enter the world of your book, your story. Don't bring elements of this world into your book. Don't talk about Harry Potter. Don't mention Taylor Swift. Don't mention the Billboard Top 100 or Drake. Stop it. That one's very simple. I don't think I need to elaborate more on that. I feel like that's a popular opinion. I hate it. I have DNF'd books because I'm starting to get more into DNFing books now, but I've started to allow myself to DNF books that give too many pop culture references. I read a book recently, I think it was called Honey and Spice. They mentioned Rihanna, they mentioned Beyonce, and I think some people like that. I think some people like the real life element in books. I don't know, maybe they don't really escape into books. Like some people don't escape into books, they kind of like the real life element of it. It's fine to them, but me, don't. No. Oh, I love Taylor Swift, stop it. What? You shouldn't know who Taylor Swift is. Make up fake celebrities and fake songs. Like, just... I think this next point can apply to like romance movies, K-dramas as well. It's just a trope that I've noticed a lot. Two love interests. She meets one, she meets another. They're both great people. The fan base is conflicted between who they want her to be with. Your solution to that is to make the second love interest suddenly become a piece of shit. Suddenly do things that they would never usually do in like book 2 or something. And then we're all just like, okay, so obviously the first option's the better option, but it's kind of like we have no choice. I think that's lazy. Genuinely, I think that's a lazy way of like resolving that, and I don't like it. I've noticed it in books, I've noticed it in TV shows, I've noticed it in movies. Scandal, Jake Ballard. It's stupid. I don't like it. And a K-drama I think does this well is True Beauty. I don't know if anyone else has watched that K-drama, but True Beauty does a very good job at not assassinating the character of any of the male interests. I watched that show loving both options. Like his character never switched up, but she made a decision and it made sense for her, even though I personally wanted her with him. But like I'm not mad that she's with the other guy. You know what I mean? There's ways to resolve it and give a reason why she chooses an option without destroying the character of one of them. Like, does that make sense? That is a trope that I want to see less of in 2026. So I'm kind of talking to writers right now. Books that are written for the sole purpose of including as many tropes as possible rather than actually telling a good story. I've seen so many other people in this space discuss it and I've agreed with them wholeheartedly, so I hope I can like explain it the best that I can, the way I see it. It's to do with BookTok, or the book space, becoming very like fast fashion. Certain authors are seeing what's going on TikTok, like Colleen Hoover for example, the way she blew up on TikTok and now has like a movie deal and stuff. I think other authors are seeing certain books are blowing up because of like certain tropes, and they're like, that is my jackpot. Like enemies to lovers is big right now, so let me just make my characters enemies and make them lovers, and then add in a couple of like trendy smut type of scene, and then hopefully it'll blow up. Tropes are a great way to like have people have a good understanding of what's in your book, like enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, all that stuff. Like, so using those to like demonstrate what's going on in your story is like great. But I'm talking about authors who will literally just pick up as many trending tropes as possible, sandwich them and force them into a storyline just for selling purposes, but the story itself is not like meaningful. What's crazy is that a lot of people genuinely like those books, and that's fine, but I think that going into 2026, I wish more authors came out with like a genuine story to tell, like they're genuinely like a story they're genuinely proud of, and then if they use tropes and stuff to market it, cool, but they're not like deliberately forcing tropes in just to like get some sort of virality rather than like relying on their actual story and like wanting to tell a genuine story. That's what I mean by like the fast fashion of TikTok, fast fashion of BookTok, or the book space right now. It's just throw in all the tropes and see what sticks and hope it goes viral. Like, tell a story. Tell a story. Sometimes naturally when you just tell an authentic story, some tropes tend to click with it, and then it's like, okay, yeah, use that to promote it on TikTok, but don't rely on the tropes for your book to be successful. Do you know what I mean? And then the last point is something that I literally touched upon like within the first 5 minutes of this video. I think very most important thing I want to leave behind in 2025 is replacing my reading time with screen time. That is something that needs to be left behind in 2025, and I think that was the most important one I wrote down. I need to get back into reading again, and I say this all the time, but like I'm serious this time, guys. Like, I need to do it. I don't think much anymore. That's what I've noticed. I don't think anymore. I just scroll, because when I scroll I don't have to think, you know? And I think there's that like comfortability. But then when I'm off TikTok and I'm reading and I'm taking in characters and storylines and I'm dissecting things like that, I'm forced to think, I'm forced to be creative. My mind is more creative, and as a consequence my writing is better. I've definitely seen like the downsides of not reading as much this year. Not saying that I need to read a new book every month or a new book every week, because that's not the point. Like, it's not about how many books I read, it's just getting back into the flow of it, reducing my screen time. I don't know why it's so hard for me to do that now, but that is something I want to leave behind in 2025. scrolling before bed. I don't know why we're all so scared of thinking. Like, you know, like the idea of putting all my electronics away and sitting in silence, terrifying. I don't know why though. And that is everything. That is quite literally all of my points. If there's anything you want to leave behind in 2025 when it comes to being a reader or a writer or anything like that, just let me know. I want to know if you agree with some of the things I said. I want to know if you disagree as well, because I'm so prepared to fight you in the comments. I have this like insane optimism when it comes to next year. Like I just have this like gut feeling that 2026 is going to be a great year. In terms of my reading, my writing, the progress I've made on my manuscript so far, I have a very strong feeling that I could finish my first draft sometime in 2026 and really make progress with getting the book up and running. So well, stay tuned for that. I'll keep you guys posted obviously, but like I have a good feeling about that. I have a good feeling about YouTube. I am starting to get a better understanding of what I like to post. I think more than anything, I cannot wait to continue posting on here and continue making YouTube friends, because some of you guys are like so sweet. I talk to you guys in my DMs all the time, and I think that's like the best thing to have come out of 2025 for me so far. I'm just looking forward to more of that in 2026. Someone keeps calling my number and I need to go, so I'm gonna wrap the video up here, and I'm just gonna say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you guys.